Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Rama Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamarupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Hare Krishna everyone, thank you so much for coming. Happy to be in Australia. Can't escape the London rain. So thank you for your warm welcome and for the opportunity to share something with all of you. Looking forward to the next few days. And today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 4. And today we're reading from 7 to 10. Okay, so we'll read text number 7 together. Maybe it's good to have a little bit of context. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarva Shrai Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Arthakai. There is no difference between Bhagavatam and Krishna. This is Krishna coming as a book. And Prati Shloke, in every single verse, what to speak of every verse, Prati Akshare, even in every single syllable, Nana Arthakai, there's so much meaning, there's so much depth, there's so much rasa. So the Bhagavatam is Krishna and is gradually revealing the science of Krishna. So the 4th canto is very interesting. The original commentator, Sridhar Swami, he explains that at the end of the 3rd canto, there's a very famous conversation between Kapila Dev and Devahuti. There's a devotee, right? Devahuti Kapila. Right? I met him yesterday. So there's a very famous conversation between Kapila Dev and Devahuti. And amongst many of the things that they talk about, they discuss devotional service in the 3 modes of nature. So Kapila Dev explains that devotional service can be in ignorance, if it's done in a proud way, if it's done in an envious way, if it's done in an angry way. Devotional service in ignorance. And devotional service can also be done in passion, if it's done for fame, if it's done for material benefit, if it's done for some kind of selfish material motivation. And devotional service can also be in goodness, if it's done out of duty, if it's done with a sense of detachment, and if it's done for the purpose of purification. So Sridhar Swami explains that after Kapila Dev explains devotional service in the 3 modes in theory, what then happens in the Bhagavatam is we hear about devotional service in the 3 modes in reality. Because the first pastime of the 4th canto is the pastime of Daksha. And Daksha is doing a lot of devotional service. He's doing so many yagyas. His name means one who's expert. But what happens is he becomes angry, he becomes envious towards Lord Shiva. Therefore, Daksha is the embodiment of devotional service in ignorance. The very next pastime of the fourth canto is Dhruva. Dhruva has a desire, a pretty big desire. He wants tapasi stitoham. I have abhilas to gain a kingdom greater than my great-grandfather, tapasi stitoham, and thus I situate myself in penance. So Dhruva represents devotional service in passion. And then and Prithu represents devotional service in the mode of goodness. So like this, when you look at the Bhagavatam closely, it's very, very deliberate. It's not random. Every pastime appears at a certain place, following on and developing a teaching that Krishna is giving us. Okay, so today we're reading from the 7th verse. You can repeat after me. Maitreya uvacha prashamshanti smatam vipra Gandharva pravarajagu mumuchu sumanodhara siddha nrityanti svastriya Maitreya uvacha prashamshanti smatam vipra Gandharva pravarajagu mumuchu samanodhara siddha nrityanti svastriya Maitreya uvacha prashamshanti smatam vipra Gandharva pravarajagu mumuchu samanodhara siddha nrityanti svastriya Mataji's. Maitreya uvacha Vipra Maitreya Uvacha. The great saint Maitreya said, Prashamshanti Sma, praised, glorified, Tam, him Prithu, Vipraha, all the Brahmanas, Gandharva Pravara, the best of the Gandharvas, Jagu chanted, Mumuchu released, Sumanadharaha, showers of flowers, Siddha, the personalities from Siddha Loka, Nrityanti, were dancing, Swaha, of the heavenly planets, Striyaha, women, the Apsaras. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: the great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura ji, at that time all the Brahmanas highly praised and glorified King Prithu, and the best singers of Gandharva Loka chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddha Loka showered flowers, and the beautiful women in the heavenly planets danced in ecstasy. So it's being described that King Prithu, as he appears in the world along with his consort Archie, everyone is glorifying them, all the heavenly entities are showering flowers and other such things. We know that they were churned from the hands of their father. Sometimes people question why the hands, why they were churned from the hands. Because we know in the social body the head represents the Brahmana and the hands represent the Kshatriyas. And what the real need of the day was to have a ruler. And therefore the hands were churned, because it said when you churn the hands, then you are able to get someone who will be a Kshatriya or Raja Rishi. So like this, Prithu Maharaj and Archie arrive, and everyone is glorifying them. So I'll read the next couple of verses, just myself, and then we'll discuss. Sankaturya mridangadya nedur dunda bhayo divi Tatra sarva upajagmur devarishi pitrinam ganaha. Translation: conch shells, bugles, drums and kettle drums vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to earth from various planetary systems. Brahma Jagat Gurur Deve Sahashritya Sureshware Vainyasya dakshine haste drishtva chinnam gadabrita padayor aravindam cha tam veimene hare kalam yasya pratihatam chakram amsha sa paramestinaha. Translation: Lord Brahma, the master of the entire universe, arrived there, accompanied by all the demigods and their chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Prithu's right hand and impressions of lotus flowers on the soles of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one whose palm bears the sign of a disc, as well as other such lines, should be considered a partial representation or incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Purport: there is a system by which one can detect an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nowadays it has become a cheap fashion to accept any rascal as an incarnation of God. But from this incident we can see that Lord Brahma personally examined the hands and feet of King Prithu for specific signs. In their prophecies, the learned sages and Brahmanas accepted Prithu Maharaj as a plenary, partial expansion of the Lord. During the presence of Lord Krishna, however, a king declared himself Vasudeva, and Lord Krishna killed him. Before accepting someone as an incarnation of God, one should verify his identity according to the symptoms mentioned in Shastras. Without these symptoms, the pretender is subject to be killed by the authorities for pretending to be an incarnation of God. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you can have a look at your palm, and if it bears the sign of a disc, as well as other such lines, you may well be more special than you know. Actually, everyone is interested in reading their palms, actually. One person, he came to Srila Prabhupada, he said, Swamiji, can you read my palm? So Prabhupada said, yes. So the devotees were like, we didn't know Prabhupada, the palm reader. We knew he's... So Prabhupada said, yes, bring closer, bring closer. So then brought looking at his palm. Then all the devotees were gathering around. Wow, Prabhupada's a palm reader. So Prabhupada looked at his palm and he said, very interesting. Definitely a sure. Birth, death, disease, old age. It's all there. Devotees realized, okay, he's really a palm reader. So here it is being mentioned by Srila Prabhupada that we understand who is an incarnation. Not just anyone can be accepted as an incarnation. In today's day and age, it's quite ridiculous, but some people actually think they're God. Once someone was walking down the street and he had a t-shirt and it said, I used to be an atheist, ... I thought, thank you Krishna for enlightening him. And then he walked past and on the back it said, and then I realized I am God. Oh no, the last snare of Maya. So it's quite ridiculous, but some people actually think they're God. So here, nation and avatar is not exactly carnivorous, which means flesh. So the word incarnation is more a Christian word, because it's the idea of the coming into the flesh of humanity and then he sacrificed his body. So in our understanding, it's not quite that the Supreme Lord comes down in flesh. No. Ata Shri Krishna nama di na bhavet grayam indriye. Krishna is always transcendental. And when he comes down, he doesn't come down in a material body. And therefore, more than incarnation, perhaps the more accurate word for avatar is descent. But because we are trying to share Krishna consciousness in the world today, we have to use words which are relatable to people. See, if you have an unfamiliar concept and then you also have an unfamiliar word, then people can't get it. Therefore, the unfamiliar concept has to be paired together with some kind of familiar word to give people a sense of what you're talking about. So, Krishna comes avatar. Avatar means one who comes down. And literally, the Lord comes down from the spiritual world to the material world at different times, places and circumstances. Avatara asankhye is mentioned in Vedic literature, that there are unlimited avatars, just as there are waves in the ocean. You all know better than me here in Sydney. There are so many waves in the ocean and they constantly come, one after the other. So in the same way, so many avatars are coming to this world. And therefore, there is a system by which to understand who is an avatar. It's very simple. If you want to know who is an avatar, then you have to take the safe option. S stands for, yes, an acronym is coming. Sorry guys. S stands for scripture. The first way in which you understand who is an avatar is they must be predicted in scripture. Tasmat sastra pramanam te. Krishna says Shastra is praman, the evidence. Therefore, whoever's an avatar will be predicted within the scripture. A stands for astrology and attributes. There will be certain astrological configurations and certain attributes on their palms, in their body, and so on and so forth, which will indicate this personality to be divine. For example, Vrindavan Das Thakur, when talking about Mahaprabhu, says, Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato samkirtane kapitaro kamalayataksho Vishvambaro dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. So he explains, Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato. If someone stands up and their hands, when hanging down, reach to their knees, this is a sign of a Mahapurush. So Mahaprabhu was 7 foot tall. If you think I'm tall, nothing, just small. Mahaprabhu was 7 foot tall, and it said that his arms were so long that when they hung down, they reached his knees. So you can imagine it was such a sight when the Panchatattva arms raised were in Sankirtan. It was amazing. So there are all of these signs, attributes and astrology. This is the second way in which you identify an avatar. But let's face it, how many of us have studied scriptures? How many of us intricately know astrology and all of these things? Therefore, the third thing, F stands for, just follow the acharyas. Because the acharyas, they've analyzed the scriptures and they know all of the astrology and attributes. And therefore, the acharyas will confirm who is an incarnation. And E stands for extraordinary activities. The distinguishing feature of an avatar is that they will do something extraordinary, something that no human being can do. That defines their divinity. So like this, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that incarnations can be identified in this way. So in the world today, people just get it all mixed up. You see, there are different ontological categories. You understand the word ontology? Ontology means the science of existence. So there are different categories of existence. One category is Ishvara. Then the next category is Avatara. Then the next category is Devata. Then the next category is Jiva. And then the next category is Maya. So these are the 5 distinct categories. And each category has its own characteristics. And the problem in the world today is they mix it up. Why did Srila Prabhupada say Mayavadis are the worst? Because they take the highest category and they make it into the lowest. Therefore, Mayavadi, Krishna, Aparadi, they mix up Maya and Krishna. They're the worst. Therefore, Prabhupada said Vaishnavas have 3 sports: swimming, wrestling, and defeating Mayavadis. So some people mix it up like that. Some people mix it up in a very subtle way. They don't know the difference between Ishvara and Avatar. They think all the avatars are the same, but no. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna is the Parama Ishvara, Parameshwar. Kaviraj Goswami also confirms Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ar Sabha Bhritya. Even the incarnations, they are servants of Krishna. Yarayache nachaya seitache kare nirtya. He says they dance as Krishna wants them to dance. So some people mix up Ishvara and Avatar. No. Krishna is the original candle. That you should know. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada used this word, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once I was on Sankirtan and one person said to me, I've got your magazine, God to Backhead. I said, back to Godhead. Because Godhead, you don't normally, is not a much used word. But Prabhupada specifically used this word, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we should not mix up Avatar and Ishvara. Some people mix up Devata and Ishvara. If I say, no problem, whatever you want, whichever one you like. Whichever one you like, you can worship, no problem. No, Krishna says, Yanti Deva Brata Devan Pitran Yanti Pritra Vrita. If you worship the demigods, then you go to the demigods. It's not the same, they are a different category. And then there are some people who mistake Jiva, he understood very, very clearly. So many people are confused. Even the people who are familiar with the Vedic tradition, they are confused. Confused.com. There is a difference between Ishvara, Avatar, Devata, Jiva, Maya. So, sometimes people ask, what do you guys believe in? So you can tell them, we believe in polymorphic, multi-level, bi-monotheism. That is our philosophy. Come again. Yes, monotheism, because we believe there's one God. There's not many gods. There's only one God. But more specifically, bi-monotheism, because we believe that that God always has a female counterpart. And therefore, the complete divinity is always the masculine and feminine divine together. Therefore, more specifically, we are not just monotheists, but we are bi-monotheists. But then, what we understand is that that bi-monotheistic reality, that divine couple, comes down in this world in different forms. And therefore, that bi-monotheistic deity is polymorphic. Therefore, Radha Krishna come as Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayan, and so on and so forth. And more specific than that in our theology, there is an understanding that there is a multi-level revelation of the absolute truth. So that even those who don't worship the polymorphic divinity, if they worship other demigods, then there is an opportunity for them to gradually elevate themselves to higher and higher realizations. So this is basically our philosophy. Are you monotheist? No. Are you polytheist? No. Are you atheist? No. Are you autotheist? That means one who believes they are God? No. Are you pantheist? No. Are you apatheist? That's the new one. Apatheism is a new one where people are like, I don't even kind of care whether God exists or not, it's just not relevant to me. Apathy. Apatheism. So we are none of these polymorphic, multi-level, bi-monotheists. That's what we believe in. So here the Bhagavatam is very, very clearly outlining what we call avatar theology. The Bhagavatam has many, many different subjects. Atra sargo visargascha stanam poshanamutaya manvantere shanukatha nirodha muktirashrayaha. So the second canto explains that the Bhagavatam has 10 topics. Just like the Gita has 5 topics, the Bhagavatam has 10 topics. And one of the topics of the Bhagavatam is Ishanukatha, or the talks of the Supreme Person. And along with Ishanukatha, or the talks of the different incarnations of the Lord, what is also outlined in the Bhagavatam is how you define or identify who is an avatar. When we read this, Prabhupada is saying rascals, rascals claim themselves to be God. And it sounds pretty ridiculous. Like, who would claim to be God? I mean, it's just like, come on, like, get real, you know. But the interesting thing is, if you look closely at the world, not just who would try to become God, actually everyone is trying to become God. Because, how so? Because Srila Prabhupada explains what is the Ishvara Bhav, what is the emotion of someone who's the Ishvara. Ishvaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi, Krishna says in the Gita. That one who thinks themselves to be God considers that they are the enjoyer and they are the controller. Now in your life, if you ask yourself, how much do I conduct my affairs as though I'm the enjoyer? And how much do I conduct my affairs thinking that I should be the controller? To that extent, we are rascals. To that extent, we are also claiming out of the picture and put themselves, have ourselves in the center. Once I was in a home and I was doing japa and I was walking back and forth and there was this beautiful picture of Krishna and Balaram. So I was walking, coming back, walking, doing my japa for 2 hours. And after 2 hours I realized every time I was walking towards the picture, instead of seeing Krishna Balaram, I was looking at my reflection in the glass. Isn't it amazing? Right in front of Krishna, but still self-absorbed. This is the living entity who is trying to become God, struggling hard. And if you look at all of material technology and technological advancement, it's all about actually trying to become God. How does Parashara Muni define God? Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriya jnanavairagyayascheva sanam bhaga itin gana. Bhagavan, or the Supreme Person, has 6 qualities. All strength, all fame, all wealth, all knowledge, all renunciation. Help me. All beauty. Okay, forgot that one. The most important one, actually. In Vrindavan, it's said that all of God's qualities go to the background and only beauty predominates. Sundarabhara. There's no one more beautiful than Krishna in the 3 worlds. So these 6 qualities. But if you look at the world and technological advancement is trying to increase these 6 qualities in us artificially. For example, fame. Now take social media. All these guys on social media. Basically what social media is doing is it's increasing your fame beyond what you actually really are. Let's just all be honest here. We all do it, and hopefully we do it for a good reason. Then it is. Or if you take, for example, knowledge. Like I just came back from, I just came from Davos. We were in the World Economic Forum. So in the World Economic Forum, the whole thing is about AI. It's the talk of the town, all of you know. So AI, what is it basically doing? It's trying to increase your knowledge beyond what you know. Right? It's like, artificially trying to make you God. Previous to that, I was in Delhi, and one person I was talking to one person about printing more books, and he goes, print more books? Why do you want to print more books? I said, no, it's good, right? Like, give knowledge to people. He said, no, people in the future won't read your books. You will teach it to them. I said, I can't get to that many places around the world. He said, yes, you can. He said, give me 50 of your lectures, and I will clone your voice, and I will clone your video and make an avatar of you, and people will put the whole book to them. And And if they want to ask you a question, they can. And you will answer them. I said, really? Wow. It's basically like Paramatma. You become Paramatma. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I was thinking it's just all trying to make you God. That's what's happening now. It's all happening. Everyone, the world is changing. They were saying in all these conferences that the rate of change in the last 100 years will be equal to the rate of change in the next 5 years. It's all changing super quick. AI, trying to increase your knowledge, beauty, so much in the world to artificially increase our beauty, isn't it? Strength, weapons of mass destruction, controlling. So if you look at all of technology in the world, like we read a purport like this and we think like, who's silly enough to think they're God? But actually that's what everyone's trying to do. Because everyone is trying to be the enjoyer, everyone is trying to be the controller, and therefore everyone is a thief. Sometimes devotees, they listen to lectures in their car. So if you listen to a lecture in your car, and you turn anyway, someone broke into his car. Anyway, the person was trying to hotwire the car. Finally, the engine fired, and as soon as the engine fired, the lecture went on, and Prabhupada said, everyone in the material world is a thief. It's a true story. Prabhupada said, everyone in the material world is a thief because everyone's stealing from Krishna. Bhoktaram yagya tapasham sarvaloka maheshwaram. So everyone is a thief. Everyone in some way, not everyone, I should not say it, but many of us, me, are trying to usurp Krishna's position. Therefore we may say, I'm not an atheist, but psychologically we are an atheist. Because we take Krishna out of the picture. So here, when we hear about avatars, we should remember Krishna is making a huge effort. Krishna is coming all the way down. Krishna is extremely concerned. And Prithu, he's a wonderful avatar. There are different types of avatars. So he is a Shaktya-Vesha avatar. Although called an avatar, Prithu is not exactly Vishnu Tattva. It's explained that sometimes in the category of Shaktya-Vesha avatar, you can have a jiva, a living entity, but who is specifically empowered with a special opulence. So Prithu Maharaj is known as a Palana Shakti avatar. He is embodying the Shakti of protection. Like that, there are different avatars who are considered Shaktya-Vesh. Parashuram, another one. Anantadev. Narad Muni is considered Bhakti Shakti avatar. He is embodying Bhakti Shakti. Kumaras are considered Jnana Shakti avatar. They are embodying knowledge. So like that, so many different avatars. So yes, these are some thoughts. Looking at the time, we have to finish, I think, in 5 or 10 minutes, right? So maybe I stop here, and if anyone has any question or comment, yes, Mataji. The world is changing rapidly. What is my suggestion? Get out of here quick. I was thinking the other day, I really am so happy I'm not a kid growing up in today's world. So very difficult times. See a devotee, Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibyati svarga pavarga narakeshva pitulyartha darshina. That for a devotee, whether they're in Svarga, whether they're in Narak, whether they're in the higher or lower planetary systems, because they are Narayana Parayana, they're absorbed in Krishna. In one sense, all they're seeing is opportunities to serve. So whether we're in the Dark Ages, or whether we're in the Middle Ages, or whether we're in the digital age, whether we're Generation Z, or millennials, or whoever we are, devotees always find opportunities to serve. Here we are in this world, so all these technologies are there. So somehow or other we have to just think, how can we use all of this to bring about a revolution in the world? So here we can just be very, very, get into Kali Yuga Katha. Prabhu is getting really bad. It's getting really bad. We could do that. And of course it is getting bad, but in all of that, in the midst of all of that, are great opportunities to serve Krishna. So yeah, we have to be ahead of the game. We also have to know all of these technologies. Many of you in the audience are in these fields. Many of you are the ones innovating all of these things. So it would be nice if you can help us be ahead of the game and figure out how we can use it all for Krishna. Prabhupada said this material body is like a block of hardwood, and somehow or other we have to carve Krishna out of it. So this body, this material world, all the material situations around us are like a block of hardwood. But now somehow or other we have to carve Krishna out of it. So yes, let us think deeply, how can we make it Krishna conscious? Is that okay? Yes, Prabhu. So your question is, who are the chiefs of all these heavenly planets? Well, it's explained. Every planetary system is working under a universal government. So, just like there's a government in this world which manages the affairs of the world, in other heavenly planets there also must be some universal system, some hierarchy where different entities are given different positions of influence and power to preside over all the different functions. So yes, every heavenly planet is also having. Its chiefs, its people of power. I don't know all the specific names of all the different chiefs. I guess maybe that will be found somewhere. But the concept is there that, yes, everyone is given a service, everyone is given some power, everyone is given some function. And therefore even the heavenly planets has a hierarchy through which it functions like that. Thank you. Which it functions like that. Thank you. Yes.
As we try to be in a devotional service, how much we should believe in like this astrological prediction, because we also mentioned that they are not. I mean,
The astrology question. A man once went to the astrologer. He said, "There's two ladies. I don't know which one will be the lucky one." So the astrologer looked in his ball and he said, clear. You'll marry the first one, the second one will be the lucky one. Astrology can be used. Yes, Prabhupada used astrology. Generally, what we tell devotees is that use astrology as a secondary confirmation, not as the primary thing which is driving your life. Astrology has its limitations. There's two problems with astrology, not two problems, two considerations with astrology. The first consideration is that you don't know how accurate the reading you're getting is. You have to have the right information, you have to have the right astrologer, and you have to have the right mindset to be able to absorb it with an open mind. And somewhere along the line, someone may miss a link there, and then it becomes compromised. But even if your astrology is still very good, the reading is very good, the second consideration is that Krishna is overseeing everything. Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Krishna says it's all working under my direction. So Prabhupada says Krishna can kick out thousands of Rahu planets. So Krishna, he can change anything. When you clap your hands in kirtan, all the lines on your hands change. I've seen. So, astrology can attack the childlike innocence of bhakti. Because what happens is we become so calculative. Oh, Prabhu, it's very bad. My Rahu, the moon. I'm in my 17.5-year period. And then we don't realize that aham tvam sarva pape bhyo moksha yishami masucha. Surrender. Krishna will release you. So if you got contact with the person on the top, why become limited? So anyway, there's a book out there, How to Mess Up Your Life with Astrology. You can also read that book, maybe. What can I say? In my life, on probably 15 different occasions, someone offered me. I was just in New York, in Brooklyn, and someone there said, I want to do your astrology, I want to do your astrology. I mean, they were so enthusiastic. But every single time I just said no. Actually, when you take sannyas, then you have to, on the form, you have to, on the form you have to write in your birth time. Apparently the authorities that do an astrological check just to make sure there ain't no big planets coming up that might affect the equation. So anyway, no one flagged anything up, so I'm assuming it's all good. But apart from that, I had so many opportunities, but I never did it. I'm not suggesting that you don't do it. It's up to you. But be careful, because we have to stay focused on the essence. Nam no hi yavati shakti papa nirharane hare tavat kartam na shaknoti patakam pataki naraha. Puranic literature is telling us, Nam no hi yavati shakti. You can't measure the power, the shakti of the holy name of Krishna. Papa nirharane hare. It can relieve you of more sins than you can perform. Don't test it, but. So let us rely on the holy name. Hare nameva kevalam kalo nasteva. Once we had this verse, Hare Nama, above someone came into a new person came into the temple. They liked everything. They even accepted Nishingadev's picture, everything. But they looked at the sign and they go, everything makes sense, but who's Ava? And why is she so nasty? So you have to see from a new person's point of view. Nasty, it's like your holy altar. Like nasty Ava, nasty Ava. Nasty. Who is that? It's interesting sometimes to see through the lens of someone who's not brainwashed in the Hare Krishna movement. So the holy name of Krishna is so powerful. Therefore, when Prabhupada came to America, what did he say? Bhakti nahi, Bedi nahi, Khub naam daro, Bhakti Vedanta naam, ebe sartha koro. Prabhupada writes very beautifully in the final line of his poem, Bhakti nahi, I don't, Krishna, I don't have devotion. Of course, in his infinite humility. Bhakti nahi, Bedi nahi, I have no knowledge, Krishna. Khub naam daro. But I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. When we wake up in the morning and we look in the mirror and we're honest and we say, Bhakti nahi, I don't have any devotion, Krishna. Bedi nahi. I give so many classes, but I don't have any knowledge. I haven't realized any of this. But if we can look in the mirror and say, Naam, but Krishna, I have faith in your holy name, that can make up everything. So, don't compromise your faith. Always put your faith in the name. Then it will be all right on the night. Alrighty. Okay, Prabhu, last question. Yes, Prabhu, yes. Yes, go for it. It's not there. It's all changed. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Yes, yeah, no. All changes. Yeah, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was an expert in Surya Siddhanta, like he knew astrology really, really well, but even he knew the power of bhakti. So yes, let us take shelter of Krishna, let us focus on the holy name, and let us try not to be the Ishvara, the controller or the enjoyer. Rather, let us be instrumental and let us learn to serve. If we turn that enjoying mentality into a service mentality, and we learn to change the controlling mentality into the mentality of being an instrument and walking with the plan of Krishna, then it takes a big load off our shoulders, and we live life carefree, without many worries, and in a very joyful way. So this is what we can perhaps meditate on today. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you so much. Sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki